Welcome back. Again, thank you for coming to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you. Welcome back. If it's your first time you've been, thank you for stopping by. Please be sure to subscribe, like the video if you like the video, comment if you don't, if you do, if you think you might, or if you just want to say hi. But what I'm here to talk about is Married at First Sight is back, season 16. They've already shown episodes 1 and 2, so I'll be kind of wrapping them up. Not much happens in the first couple episodes, although I can appreciate Lifetime for condensing it down, because I remember when I don't know about the first, like, I don't remember back the first episodes, but when they started shopping for the dresses and the tuxes and having bachelor parties and bachelorette parties and having to tell the families and having to tell them they were picked and all that, like that, we were like in episode 10 by the time these people seemed like it. So I'm glad they condensed it down a lot, a whole lot. Thank you. Shout out to Lifetime. Thank you. So, first person we meet is Kristen. Kristen is picky by her own admission. Excuse me. Kristen has a master's degree in business education, a bachelor's in health service administration. She's a real estate agent. She has a long checklist of her requirements, what she's looking for in a man. She wants her man to be as educated or more educated than she is. Some of the things she mentioned: physically fit, tall, handsome, low haircut, beard, hardworking, nice teeth, someone that wants to or willing to go to church with her, positive mindset, ambitions, and some other things. Those are a few. And there's nothing wrong with having requirements, but as long as you're willing to bend a little, like some of your requirements don't necessarily have to be present at the moment. And not that you can change someone, but these are things like physically fit. Maybe they're not fit per se, but they may not be overweight. They just may not be someone who works out regularly, so they're just like regular body. May not be as toned as you might like it, but then you can introduce him to working out with you. You want a man as educated or more educated than you. So if he got a little chip in his tooth or whatever, y'all making money, so he can get that fixed. So these aren't things that, to each his own. This is what she wants. She knows she's picky, like I said. So, and she knows that going through this process, again, we're in season 16, so if you've ever watched the show, you know that they can't, they'll try their best, but they can't get everything on your list, and you're leaving that in the hands of the experts. So you can't be that picky, because somebody that picky, you're not going to trust nobody to pick your partner. And at the same time, you're single, so maybe your picker is off a little bit. But But that's all her, that's some of her requirements. So her husband is going to be Shaquille. He calls himself the devout workaholic. So he is that. He he's the executive director of academic services at Tennessee State University. He's currently working on his doctorate degree. He says dating has been challenging for him in the past. He kind of threw himself. He and his siblings and his mom were in a really bad car accident when he was 7 years old. Car flipped over. They were ejected from the car. So as a result of that, he could not play any sports per the doctor's order. So he kind of threw himself into education, and that's pretty much been his life. He's just ready for a relationship. He considers himself to be he's been successful up to this point. Only thing that's missing is a relationship. His dating in general has been challenging because his career and studies has him moving around quite a bit. So as you know, it's kind of hard long distance relationships are hard within themselves, and then you have someone constantly studying, working to better themselves. I could see where that could be an issue, but he's ready now, he says. So that's them. So and excuse me, y'all, if this is not in order. Like I said, my memory is not where it used to be, so I make these little notes. So they may have gotten out of order, but I think I'm going in order of the first episode. If not, whatever. You know who they are. I apologize to the people who want to, the trolls. They like to point stuff out. So anyway, next we have Dominique and McKinley. For one, I'm going to just give my little 2 cents. Dominique and her mother are tight. Best friends, she calls her. They talk several times a day. Her mom is the one who actually signed her up for the show. I feel like that should have automatically disqualified her, because this is not a game show, and they have thousands of applicants, people who really want to be married. Some people want to be on TV, some people want the instant 15 minutes of fame, all that, but it's really people who wants a life mate, wants to be married. So I just felt like when she said that, I feel like that she shouldn't have been chosen. That's just me. She shouldn't have been chosen. But nonetheless, she was. She's 25. He's 34. Like I said, she's a self-proclaimed mama's girl. That's her best friend. They talk several times a day. She signed her up for the show. He lives with his friends. He comes from, he has siblings. Both his brother and sisters have master's degrees. He dropped out of college to start a cannabis business. He was engaged. They were on the verge of getting married, so he thought. So, of course, it was a serious relationship. So his fiance called him, and I think they were on the verge of I don't know if he got her a ring yet, because again, what he thought when she called him and she was showing him the ring, and he's like, "Oh, that's nice. Is that something that you like?" He thought it was just like her showing him a idea of something that she would want, and she's like, "No, I just got engaged. And he like, stop playing, whatever. Well, come to find out it was true, it was real. Even in his confessional, he's still hurt by that. So just on those things alone, your mom signed you up and you about to cry talking about your ex getting engaged to somebody else and everything. I got bad vibes. Like he may think he's ready, and he may be okay to start dating again. But again, marriage, I feel like somebody who had to be signed up, somebody signed up by something from somebody else, and somebody who's still tearing up when they tell the story about their ex. So I feel like another couple could have taken their place. Maybe not right now. Not for them right now. So then we have Nicole and Chris. She seemed like she is going to be a bit much for him, personality wise. They show her she having a doggy puppy show on the beach. She's into dogs. She admittedly says she's in the past she ignored red flags. He likes impersonations. So I guess they'll get along with that whole puppet show, impersonations, all that. So they are compatible in that way. He's a hopeless romantic. They both love dogs. They both have dogs. To him, divorce means failure. It's not, something that he even wants to think about. And but he's known to his friends as the nice guy. Everybody calls him a nice guy. So I kind of feel like she may be a little bit her personality may be a little bit big for him. Then we have Jasmine and Aries. Now, when he told his friends that he was getting married, they laughed. And he basically was explaining, when he was 28, somebody broke his heart, and he became a fuck boy ever since. He was playing the field. He was over it. Didn't want nothing serious. Was just wow. He was raised by a single mom. She had him at 19. His dad tragically was murdered. I believe he said when he was 11. I'm not sure, but his dad was murdered when he was really young. He admittedly said that he is a work in progress, but he's ready. He's been preparing for the past couple of years, reading books, going to therapy, just trying to change his mindset, which is great. Great. Cousin Felina was like, boy, you are nowhere near ready to be married. He said he is. I feel like your family knows you best, but at the same time, a lot of times when we work on ourselves and we progress and we are trying to grow as a person, family and longtime friends and things, like, people can be your own worst enemy, because they may be stagnant where they are, or don't appreciate the work that you're putting in for yourself, on yourself. And so they know you and remember you when you were doing X, Y, and Z. And because they may have not changed or grown in their lives, or they just want to be doing God's work and judging you. So sometimes they they remembering you or what you were. And you shouldn't really have to explain that you changed, you grew, whatever. I should just be able to say, I'm ready. And you either support it or you don't support it. But keep your opinions to yourself if you don't have anything positive to say. Jasmine says she's family oriented. Her family was huggy and hugging her and happy for her. And she comes from the pageant world. She's a beauty queen. She's won Miss Virgin Island, Miss Tennessee, went to the national pageant, won another Miss Tennessee, went to the USA Miss and won that in 2021. When she's not doing pageant stuff, she's a cheerleader coach. And she's ready for her husband and children. She's had many long relationships, and then they get to about the 4-year mark, and she starts to have the serious conversation, like, what are we doing? There's no engagement ring, there's no wedding plans, there's no children, there's no, like, what are we doing here? And so they just are complacent, and so she moves on, and she wants to elevate. And I don't blame her. Like, you're not gonna waste my life for what? So that's cool. Then we move on to Gina and Clint. They look fun, but I think they're two different levels of fun, where Gina looks like she's a good time. Like, she can get it popping, but she more career driven mindset, like work hard, play hard type of situation. Where Clint is more like, if I go to work, I go to work, but I'd rather be out playing, being adventurous on the seas, captain, all that. So she's a salon owner, hairstylist. She says she's spontaneous, which I could see. She seems like she is. She was raised by a single mom. Her dad wasn't really around. Her last relationship was long term. She thought they were getting married, but he just dumped her one day. Told her he wasn't happy, and so he was moving on. She's been known to, or she feels like she intimidates men with her success. And again, I think that has to do with, because she's mentioned several times that she was so career and goal oriented, and so she kind of put her love life and personal life on the back burner to achieve getting a store, the salon of her own, and those things. So I guess that could be intimidating to a man that's trying to date you if you're more focused on that. But I feel like then that wasn't the man for you, because your man should be one of your biggest cheerleaders, if not the biggest, because your success is ultimately, if this is going to be somebody you're sharing your life with, is our success. So if you feel away because you're not getting enough cuddles, then I'm gonna need you to fall back. But her family was happy for her. He is a traveler. His friends were happy when he told them. He says he considers himself a professional life liver. He flies planes. He was inspired to do that by Top Gun. You know, what's his name? I forgot the man's name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But was inspired by Top Gun movies, and he lived with a woman for 4 years. She ended up leaving him. She felt like she lost herself in that relationship. She was doing more to make him happy, and in turn she was becoming unhappy, which I can kind of, because he's a professional life liver, I can see how that would have happened, and I can see how, because he's that way, he's the captain of his own ship, as he keeps saying and things, and Gina is kind of the head bitch in charge, captain of her own ship. I think that they may clash. They may clash unless they could find a median where they could respect each other's personality and ambition and things. So then we see them. So that's the 5 couples, and you know, we always think, we give our predictions and things. We watch these shows, we think what we think, and then sometimes these past few years, seasons, they've been some curveballs. It's been some curveballs. So we don't never know. But the brides and grooms meet each other. The guys all meeting up and the girls all meeting up. Eris called Clint the brawny dude. I said, oh my God, I can't unsee that. He does look like him or whatever, but he's handsome. He's handsome. He reminded me too of, is it Chuck Norris? Or somebody. Is it Chuck Norris who do those infomercials with his wife? I think so. He reminded me of him too. Dominique was talking to the ladies about how she is all into her girls' night out, and she likes to hang out and have fun and all this. And Kirsten gets up there talking about, you a wife, you need to be home. I said, not Miss Picky List. Like, you need, it's a happy balance. Just because you're married don't mean that you need to only hang out with your husband or your spouse. That's so not true. In fact, that ruins relationships, because eventually you start to resent one another and things like that, because they isolated you isolated from your friends and things like that. You need to establish boundaries and healthy alone time or girl time or friend time or whatever it may be. Dominique, she just aside from talking about the girls' night out and things, she just, again, her mama signed her up for the process. Her mama's her best friend. She don't want to disappoint mommy, but I don't feel like she should be there, because somebody else really wanted this opportunity. I just, no. And so the guys, you see them talking about how long it's been since they had sex, and I think Mike, was Mike his name? Mike R. Cameron said it's been a year. No, it wasn't. Chris Oh, nice. Chris, I think it was. Chris or McKinley, one of them said, it's been a year. Eris called them the 40-year-old version. You know, Eris got jokes over here at this table. Kirsten told the ladies that she specifically told the experts that he also must be above 6 or 7 inches, or around 6 or 7 inches, his penis. Jasmine was telling them how she has 4 dogs, which are like her babies. They keep her busy. Eris told the fellas that he's had sex 2 weeks ago, the night before we found out that he was matched. And yeah, so and then he says he told the girl he wanted to be respectful and told her face to face and all that. Clint said, I'm glad you mentioned that first, because me too. So they both had sex right before finding out that they were getting married. Eris just gives me Playboy vibes, and his cousins and friends who bust out laughing when he told them that he was getting married just confirmed that. They at least that's who he used to be. And like I said, I'm all for change, but he's still, the things that he's showing us so far still gives me Playboy vibes. So then we see them at the bachelor parties, and Nicole had herself a good old time. Gina said this was the first time she ever saw male strippers, and yeah, I don't like male strippers, me personally. I don't like bodily fluids, and I saw these male strippers one time, and that guy was all doing what he do, and the sweat was just dripping. Oh my God, I could have crawled out of my skin. I felt so dirty and disgusted, and I just like moved him back, and that's my preference. But so I don't really like male strippers. I mean, they can be over. They're not nice to look at, but don't come over here. Don't come over here dripping, please. Anywho, Dominique had herself a good old time as well. She got the stripper, her personal stripper, taking the shots out her boobs. They said Kirsten was riding somebody's neck. They didn't show that. Dominique, and apparently her stripper was Omni, was his name. They talking about her breast size. He's talking about his breast size. She talking about how the breast is like her purse, and she keep everything in there, and it was inappropriate. Kristen said, girl, don't get that boy your number. Lord, please don't get that man your number. Over at the guys' bachelor party, they said Clint had him a good old time. In my opinion, I don't know where they got these strippers, but these girls was they was whack looking. They no breasts, no ass. I'm not a lesbian, but if you're gonna be a stripper, call yourself a stripper, and be on a television show with millions and millions of viewers, can you please have stripper-like bodies, please? So Chris was saying that he deleted all his dating apps, and Eris, he talking about he put his on snooze because he ain't quite sure. And they asked each other, are you ready for just one vagina for the rest of your life? And they all answered in various ways and all of that. And so then we get to Kristen and but before that, so they did show Kristen and Shaq trying on their dresses, and I love the dress she chose was hugging her. It was absolutely beautiful. And I like that Shaq wore his mentees to try on his tux. He looks at them like his sons, just a positive influence in their lives, and that's good. And he tried on one of the suits he tried on. They told him he looked bored. It's boring. You giving prom vibes. And then he went on and put it on the hunter green one, and they loved it. And he looked sharp, and Kristen looked sharp, and they did well picking their wedding attire. So then we see them about to get married. So Shaq is in his hotel room with the fellas, and Kristen is in her room. Kirsten. Is her name Kirsten or Kristen? What is it? So she's in her room with the ladies, and so they're all getting ready. I'm gonna just say this has nothing to do with the show, but Shaq's brother Darzus, he looks good. Her name is Kristen. Okay. He was in there looking like a snack. Yes, looking like a snack. So he was telling them how God gave him confirmation, like he's doing the right thing. He put his faith, his trust in his faith, and he knows his grandmama always told him, do it scared. I like that. Do it scared. Just do it. If you don't feel fear and do things outside your comfort zone, you stay the same. You stay stagnant. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to be scared. Fear is a natural emotion, but we got to do it. Kristen she's worried because her mom hasn't shown up to the room yet. She's calling her. Her phone's going to voicemail. But someone did mention that that's just her. She's always late, but she comes through. There's no reason why she wouldn't if nothing bad happens. She's just late. So they were getting concerned. Production was doing what they do, so it was probably more dramatized than it really was, because she feels like she know her mom. She'll be there. Her mom would not miss her wedding. It's not like they had any beef or any issues or anything like that, so she wasn't overly concerned, but they had to make it a dramatic moment. So anyway, her girls are asking her if she planned on tongue kissing. She said she don't know, but she know for sure that he better ask her, can he kiss her? It's only polite. You just meeting me. You just don't assume that I'm going to be okay with kissing you. And on one hand, I get it. But at the same time, you okay with marrying me? Anyway, so she was again talking about how her preference is that low haircut and beard. She don't know if she'll be all right with a bald head. She said her dad, he said in his ways, he said he ain't getting no COVID test, so he'll see y'all when y'all get back. That's just like Pops. Pops is the same way. Pops said, I ain't worried. My sister and we both had destination weddings. I ain't married no more. If anybody watching this video, I'm single. But we both had destination weddings. Pop said, I ain't getting on no plane. I'll see y'all when y'all get back. He meant that. I said, these old men, they be, what they say they mean, what they mean they say, they ain't trying to hear none of that. I'll see y'all when y'all get back. And he sure didn't come. So the mom arrived. Okay, that little dramatic moment was over. Like I said, she didn't seem like it was a big deal because it wasn't. My mom is late to everything. Yeah, he had, I kept watching and I'm like, what is that? He had a bow tie. He looked sharp. And I love that color, that hunter green. But he had these feathers. I couldn't see what it was at first. And I said, oh, they some feathers. Okay. So he later on say, after they get married in the second episode, he made it. I don't know if I don't know. But I'm all for creativity and everything, but okay. So he started explaining to his fellas that he's emotional. He's been going through silent battles, struggling within. He does not want to be alone anymore. He just doesn't. He go down there. He see his grandma. She surprised him, and they surprised her because she thought she was there for him to get a award at school or something. And so they were both surprised, and he cried and they cried, and later on he revealed on the after party that was the last time he saw her. Unfortunately, she passed on. That was sad. He walks in, everybody clapping, happy. So everybody on the wife's side, you know, they already in there, so they like what they see apparently. So she comes down, get ready to come in. That's where the first episode ended. But she looked good. Her dress, like I loved her dress. Loved it. So then, if y'all watch the after party is a show that comes on after the episode to kind of chat. She usually has 2 or 3 of the cast members there to talk about the episode and whatnot. So on this particular one, she had her husband Brad. Keisha Knight Pulliam is the host. She had her husband Brad there with her. They're expecting their baby. Congratulations, y'all. And then she had Nicole, Jasmine, and Kristen. So Nicole said, they were talking about sex. Nicole haven't had sex in 2 years. For Jasmine, it's been 6 months. Kristen said a couple months. Now, back a couple months can be anywhere from yesterday up to a year. A couple months, child. So, Keisha asked her, are you ready to give up some of that control, some of that checklist? Is it negotiable? What's going on? And she said, yeah, I think so. So they get to talking amongst themselves, and Aris was saying how he was. Oh, then I'm sorry. It started out with Nicole. This particular first episode was 2 hours long. So it started out with the three women, and then they came out with Aris, McKinley, and Shaquille. And they started talking about something, and somebody asked Aris, like, he was talking to a girl, and then he just kind of cut off or something like that or whatever. And somebody said, oh, she blocked you, probably, upset that we was just together and you about to have a whole wife, like. And he said, oh, no, she ain't blocked me. How you know she ain't blocked you? You been trying to call her? So McKinley said he had a connection with someone else leading up to this process, and so he kind of gave me a different I looked at him sideways on that too, like, you on this after party just spilling some stuff that up until this process, or up until you were picked, you was like feeling somebody. So then they on there dry snitching. McKinley said Clint told them, so Keisha was asking, like, anything else we didn't see, did the bachelor parties continue on to an after party or what have you. So McKinley said that Clint said, I'm not married yet, and like they were fooling around. I don't know if it was the strippers, I don't remember, or some women, and he asked him, are you gonna have sex tonight? He said, possibly. I'm not married yet. I'm like, damn, they just did. Keisha's husband, but Brad was looking like at the side of his eye, like, Lord, like, come on, man, y'all is dry snitching over here. So Keisha asked, of course, about his cousin that was vocal about him not being married, and he explained how she just feel like he lacked experience, and he hasn't been in a serious relationships for over 6 years. And Keisha asked him, like, well, when you were you faithful during that time? He talking about 90% of the time. So Brad kind of came in. He was like, I feel that, when I met you, I had 2 girlfriends. Keisha said, well, as long as you know that ain't flying over here. We not even going, whatever you did before you met me. So again, Shaq was talking about how it was his relationships were hard to maintain due to his traveling and so on and so forth. And then McKinley went on to talk about how what he thought was going to be his fiance and wife. He thought she was sending him the picture of the ring that she wanted, and ended up being the ring that her new guy had given her, proposed to her. He said, he's forgiven her and moved on. I don't know how true that is, because like I said, during the show, he was tearing up in the confessional. So he might have forgiven her, but the moved on part, I think you still might have a little bit of work to do. But nonetheless, he dodged the bullet anyway, because apparently they had sex just the night before. She texted him that, and but they ended up getting married and had a kid and everything. Like I said, he's still hurt. Like he went in too much detail for somebody to be over something. You can't, like, you don't even want to give it your energy. But it's almost like he waiting for somebody to ask him about that situation. She said that, so again, Shaq was on the after party, like I mentioned, is when he said that that was the last time he saw his grandma. And she always told him that phrase, do it scared. He said she was talking to him. Now that he think back in hindsight, she was preparing him for her not to be around. She was talking to him like she knew she wouldn't always be there. But at that time, he had no idea that it would be the last time he would see her. But he felt like she kind of knew, or was at least preparing him and giving him little nuggets of wisdom, almost as if she knew that would probably be the last time they would speak, or at least being in each other's presence. And that just so so Brad was just giving them some words of wisdom, and he told them the Apple story, which I loved. And basically the gist of that was to love, you almost love your partner more than you love yourself. And the gist of the Apple story was, like, before the show, they were in the back, and like the fruit basket was there and everything, and he took his apple and kind of and ate it. And Keisha asked him for an apple, and he like took the apple and went and washed it off and peeled the little sticker off and all of that for her. Whereas he just ate his. And it's just like, that's how you know, like, when you really truly put that person ahead of you, you know. And I thought that was cute. And he just was basically giving them advice, like, you got to think beyond the person standing in front of you, and ask yourself, like, would I want this person to be raising my kids with me, or if I'm not around? And that's how, like, when the answer becomes yes, then you kind of know. But that ended the episode 1. So then this week's episode was the weddings, some of them. So Kristen and Shaquille got married. And usually these weddings, and I know it's a show, but sometimes I feel like I'm a guest, and sometimes I be like, oh, like I can feel, not the love because they're strangers, but the chemistry. And I wasn't feeling it from her. I just wasn't feeling it. And she did say she said several times she didn't want a bald head. So maybe that was it. But they went through the ceremony, and at the kiss the bride part, she gave him the cheek in a little hug. And they walked in out the thing. And then they sat down and talked, and he told her about the accident and what he did for a living. I believe they talked about what he did for a living. But she said that he did not ask her for a kiss, and he has a bald head. I want to say, maybe she said something else, but anyway, she said in the confessional that he already has 2 strikes, but he seems to have a okay attitude and personality, which can kind of make up for the superficial things, basically. But and then they didn't really show them much anymore. They talked a little bit on the couch, but they didn't like get to their reception or anything during this episode. And then next I think was um again, this may not be in order because I didn't take no notes for Wednesday show. Nicole and Chris, and uh let's see. Yeah, let me just say, Nicole, I am here for her. She seems like genuine. Like, this is me. Like, forget these cameras, this is me. When she was out there talking about, it's sweat running down my leg because it's hot out here, don't tape my legs and all that. She is just, and it seems genuine. Like, she's not trying to be funny for the camera. She seems genuine, like genuinely herself. Like, forget those cameras there, this is me. But and then Chris has his dry humor, those impersonations and things. But like I said, I hope they balance each other out because I like them. I like them. And when I had a little bit of when they was getting married, but I like them. I hope they balance each other because they definitely seem like a yin and yang. Like, she seemed over the top and he seems like even kill mellow. Like, and I think that if they both, like, if she simmer down a little bit and he perk up a little bit, they can really find that happy medium. But we'll see. She went dress shopping, and I love the dress she chose too. She looked good. She looked good. The next ones to get married was Clint and Gina. Now, I like Gina's dress. I feel like I wanted her hair to be put up or something. And they looked like they was doing all that teasing and everything like that, and everything, and then they show her, and it's just, so I feel like it should have been put up in a nice hair piece or veil or something. Should have been on there. Clint, I did not like his suit looked like so generic gray. First of all, it was just given, you want to, I don't know, but it was just given like I just need a suit for court. I ain't like it. But can we talk for a moment about that damn bridesmaid dress with that big ass bow on the front? Listen, I know it be low key the intention of the bride to make sure that the bridesmaids don't look better than her, but you ain't have to do them girls like that. I would have said hell to the no. My big ass is not walking around here looking like a damn present with that big bow. That was not cute at all. But they seemed genuinely attracted when they saw each other, and they look, I like them too. I have good vibes from the wedding. I still think that they too, like Nicole and Chris, they have to find a happy medium, but I think it's doable, and I'm hopeful for them. Now, Clint Wizzle, Playboy ways, I hope he got that under control, but I'm hopeful for them. Yeah, they the only ones who really got married, I think. I'm sitting here scrolling down this thing to see the couples. Yeah, Dominic and McKinley haven't gotten married yet, and neither has uh, Jasmine and Eris. Did it? No, they didn't. So that's pretty much was the gist. It was a couple weddings, and then you saw the other couples trying on their suits and their dresses. That was the gist of that show. So this Wednesday coming up, I guess they'll finish the last two weddings, and then we'll see a little bit of the receptions. And the show really, like I said, it's a slow start. It's not really a whole lot to talk about, but I think like I said, it's so much. It's so condensed than what it used to be, but the first couple episodes is pretty much you getting to know them, and you seeing them pick out their stuff and telling the family and that type of stuff. So nothing exciting is happening yet. We don't even really know them. We just giving our predictions based on little comments that they made and things like that. But more will come, more excitement for sure, based on the trailers and things like that. But that's all I have about the married folks at first sight. Arranged marriages is what they are about. That's all I got for now. I will be back to talk about them next week. That comes on Wednesday night on Lifetime. So I believe it comes on like 8 to 10 or 10 something. Whatever it comes on, I usually watch it the next morning while I'm having my coffee. So we'll see when I come back and talk to y'all. I don't want to be giving y'all promises because sometimes stuff be happening. But I'm going to get better and more consistent with it because I need these subscribers to go up and these watch hours and these comments, and just so I can come on here and talk to y'all. It's not going to be all about these TV shows, even though they crazy. But thank y'all. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment, and I will see y'all next time with my 2 cents on whatever. Talk to y'all later. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe out there and take care.